Alejandra, what's going on, my lady?
It's nice to see you. It's nice to see your face. I feel like
I
we
know.
mostly don't catch up like face to face.
That's true. We usually do phone calls. But yes, it is lovely seeing your face. We do the do. We do the group FaceTimes every once in a while.
Yes,
But
the group FaceTimes.
yeah, which
I'm
are
like I think I'm just like a serial phone walker. So I think I usually prefer phone calls for that reason because I can like pace around my house like a caged lion.
oh yeah. I like going for walks and talking on the phone.
You do that a lot. Yes, it's so
I
true.
I love it. It feels so good because you get like some fresh air and you're chatting with a friend. It's like it feels similar to if we lived close to each other and we could be like, and I could be like, hey Alejandra, let's go for a walk. And we
We
just went
should
for a
do
walk and
that together.
yeah,
I never, that's so funny because as much as I like pace around the house when I talk on the phone, I've never considered taking it outside.
it feels good. It feels good on the brain. And then you get back and you think, oh my God, I was just outside for an hour and a half. That feels good.
That is always a good feeling.
Have you found that you get frustrated with your apartment?
Yeah, I did it this morning. So like backstory, my apartment's like 400 square feet. It's
Mm.
terrible. And I'm moving in like 10 days, thank God. But like I was trying to grab my charger, which is like tucked behind a plant and several items on top of our mini fridge. And I like whipped it kind of awkwardly and I broke the like glass. Those will look like glass bulbs, for your plants you put water in.
Yeah. Like
I
like
broke that.
the air
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Yep. I broke that and then knocked over my brand new like fancy plant sprayer that I bought to like mist my babies. And then like all of this during a Zoom meeting with my manager. And I was like, I hate this house. I can't do this anymore.
You know what I did yesterday? I was on a Zoom call and I had a back. Oh my god! And I had a background up
Yeah.
because I work out of my kitchen and I was just tired of cleaning up my kitchen
Yeah.
before every meeting because
Yep.
I would just like frantically throw all of the dishes like into the sink. It would just be like toss
A
them into the sink
pile.
and then hop on a call. And I was just like and that's not even great to be like living your life that way, but that was even like too much. So now I'm like dishes still on the counter, but I just threw up a background. I was sitting at our kitchen table on a call and Ben came out while still on a
Oh my
call.
God.
So he's talking and I'm like listening slash talking and it really like messes with my brain when there's
Yeah.
like another voice. So I got up to I got him to go grab my headphones so I could like focus a bit more and I completely fell with my laptop in my hand and I'm just splayed out on my living room floor. And I am so grateful I was on mute and I had the background. So all it looked like was that I was all of a
You just
sudden
like
not in frame.
so quickly. I have a I have a similar Zoom story, which was my boyfriend. So we don't have a door in between our kitchen and like our studio, like
Uh-huh.
bedroom slash
Yep.
living room, and we have like a curtain. But sometimes, like when we have an important meeting, like it's hard. We can kind of hear each other. So he had a really important presentation, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna stack a bunch of shoe boxes in front of our like fake door." So like we can muffle the sound, but like don't forget about it. And I was like, "Ah, totally, like I'm not gonna forget about it. Like I'm in a Zoom meeting anyway. Like I'm not even gonna need to go over there. And then like in my Zoom meeting, because I like work on materials for footwear, my boss was like, "Oh my God, that one material." And I was like, "Oh yeah, let me go grab it." And I was like so excited. So I like booked it into the other room, completely forgot about all the shoe boxes because they're like behind the curtain. And
Okay.
then I just like
Okay.
and then I like Kool-Aid man like bursts through all these shoe boxes and I'm not on mute and all my coworkers just hear like this loud crash and they're like, what the hell, are you okay? um So yeah.
Oh my God. Zoom is so funny. There have been so many like funny, awkward things that happen. I have a coworker that sometimes doesn't put themselves on mute and is
Mm,
and is going about their house. And it's just funny. It's just so funny because it's like, hey, so and so, you're not on
can
mute, and
you can
it's
you
just
mute yourself?
uh
My worst nightmare is to be like that lady that like went to, I don't know if you saw the video where it was like she was on a Zoom meeting and she went to pee, but she like forgot to turn her video off.
oh my God. I've I haven't done it with like the camera on, but if I'm listening to a call and I have earbuds on and it's on my phone, I do go pee
Same.
sometimes. I mean,
Yeah,
I do that when I talk to people on the phone. I'll just
same.
like I go pee, or like I'll
Yeah.
either like ask them a question and then just hit mute and then go pee and whatever. But I don't trust technology when it comes to
No.
doing risks like that. Like that's a
No.
risk.
I
Like
always
I'm
turn the computer if I like absolutely bring it with me, I'll like turn it or like put it in the bathtub.
yeah. Think through all the scenarios. Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. Anyways, how is your Friday? What are you up to today?
Oh, not much really. I actually like um so I started learning snowboarding this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, in like great fashion, I like totally wiped out and like landed on my butt. So I bruised my tailbone. So
Oh,
I'm like back to like bummed quarantine mode where I have nothing to look forward to
bummed.
and I just sit all day. And I actually can't even sit. I'm sitting now finally, but like for like the past almost like 2 weeks, I can't even sit. So I've had to like either stand or like lay on my stomach, like on our bed. Um, so I'm like, I can't
Oh,
even like knit, which I was like knitting. It's like awkward to knit on your stomach.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, so just being bored mostly, but getting better. So hopefully we'll be able to get back out
Oh,
at least a few more times before the season's done.
oh, pray for Alejandra's butt. That
Yeah, pray for
that's
my butt, please, guys.
oh, that sucks. That sucks. I don't think I've actually ever bruised my tailbone, but I know several people who have. So you're in good company.
Yeah, apparently I mean, it's kind of common. I told Joe I was just mad because I was like, this cuts into my favorite quarantine activity, which is sitting. Can't even
We're just
sit.
sitting.
It's my go-to.
God damn it. Yeah, that sucks. And that sucks that you can't knit or anything, but you're sitting now. So that's fantastic.
So it's better. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
an improvement.
good. Good. Yeah, I'm having one of those like bottomless pit kind of days. And I'm like all about it. Like I just like I'm hungry. I've been hungry all day and just
Oh, yeah,
very,
yeah.
very insatiable. But um I'm here for it. I think it's because I was like lifting weights and then I was listening
Oh,
to some good
nice.
I was listening to some good music. And so I decided to just dance around for like an hour. And I think I just like
Yeah.
really tuckered myself out from dancing yesterday or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. But Ben and I are going to make tacos tonight. It's Taco Friday for
Hell
the
yeah.
second Friday in a row, and that's going to be our big
Big event.
Friday night. Here we go.
I think we're gonna make a frozen pizza, so
Oh
right
wow,
there with you.
getting friggin' crazy.
Crazy.
So some background on how Alejandra and I know each other. We worked at the same company right out of college, a sneaker company
Yep.
in Boston. Um,
Bow stain.
we were both apprentices and we met. And then our apprentice group was really, really tight. Like I'm so impressed with
Same.
how much like we all still keep in touch and like hang out. It's awesome.
Isabel sent me gummies from England the other day.
That's so sweet.
I know,
That's
right?
so sweet. And then
Everyone
Ala
is so sweet.
yeah, and Alejandra and Shelby and Rachel, two other women who are with us in the apprenticeship, like we all like hop on FaceTime calls regularly, which is really neat. But Alejandra and I started like chatting on the phone, like once I moved out to Seattle, and we were just having such good talks, like getting into it. And we were like, we should record. We should record this. So that is kind of
Yeah,
like where this is coming from.
I love it. It's good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah.
And to, and today's topic is, what does it mean to be a cool girlfriend, and the cool girlfriend thing. So this is something that we talked about maybe
Like a
even,
year ago.
yeah, a year ago. So some background. So like an example of a cool girlfriend situation. If you're like, what does that mean? I have been the quote unquote cool girlfriend, trying to be the cool girlfriend. Alejandra has too. I would venture to say that most folks have done something similar to this, but basically it's where, vague example, but like Ben's like, hey, I'm going to go do this. Is that okay with you? And I'm like, yeah, that's totally fine. That's so fine. I don't care at all. That's the coolest. Yeah. And then like 2 weeks later, Ben will be like, hey, can you pass the salt? And then I'll just like be like, you can go fuck yourself. And it just doesn't even make any sense at all. And like, so like the meaning behind that. And so like, has that ever happened to anyone out there? Like, totally. So basically, what in the situation I'm talking about is me saying, yeah, Ben, I don't even care at all. I really do care. And I'm just like shoving down how I feel. And then it comes out later in a totally random, not at all related scenario. Like, hey, can you pass the salt? And I'm like, yeah, fuck you. And then, that kind of type of situation.
Well, I think what we came down to in our discussion, I think it's just like I would almost call it a trope, like the cool girlfriend trope.
What does trope mean?
Trope is like,
I can
I'm
look it
like
up
using
too.
words. It's like I know what it means, but I don't know how to explain it. It's essentially like an archetype kind of, So
Mm,
like, I mean, you can use trope in a lot of different ways. Like I know generally in a lot of like different like God, do I want to call it social justice? God, like no, but like there might be different tropes in like that feminism might explore, or that maybe more of like civil rights movements kind of might explore. Like there's like the like manic pixie dream girl trope in movies, which is like the girl that
mm.
kind of like eternal. I know the biggest examples like Eternal Sunshine of the was it Solace, whatever the heck. um but basically like, oh, she's like super cool and she comes in the guy's life and then she like fixes all of his problems and like all these things. And then or like there might be tropes like negative tropes, like the angry black woman trope, or like
Okay.
the sassy gay best friend trope, where it's like these ideals that are crafted kind of by, I mean, usually like, patriarchy or white supremacy, and then like are kind of like propped up by media and like stereotypes or expectations, I guess. But I know that like, sorry, this is a very long-winded explanation.
No, I think you did a great job, honestly. Like the idea of an archetype. So I've heard tropes, the word trope used in sentences a lot, and I always nod as if I know what it is, and I don't know what it is. So thank you. It's like an archetype. So, and I think you explained that really well.
Yeah. But I think like definitely, I guess like when I was like in high school and college and like diving into feminism, there's a lot of tropes that I think are put on women.
Mm.
And just like I think that the cool girlfriend is, I mean, I would categorize it as kind of a trope, or like a again, yeah, like I guess just something that's like this fictional thing that's created that creates expectations around how women feel like they should behave in a cisgendered straight relationship. I would probably say add.
Yeah. Um, yes. Do you mind? So cisgender is like you identify as
The sex that you were assigned at birth.
this.
So like,
Yes, exactly. Okay.
yeah,
Cool. Just so we're all on the same page.
yeah,
Um, yeah, something that I've thought about is that like what women are like supposed to be nowadays. And like
Yeah.
the ideal woman in my view, like how to be like the coolest, best girlfriend is someone who embodies both the best characteristics of a woman and a man. So like she's
Yeah.
hot, she's thin, she can cook really well, like she like knows how to do her hair and makeup and stuff, but she gives a shit about sports and she drinks beer straight from a bottle and like she doesn't
She doesn't use a coaster.
yeah, like she can
That's so
hang with
dumb.
the boys, like she'll like, you know, when guys are doing like their guy talk, like she can like get in there too. Like that has been my
Yeah.
definition of like what like the ideal woman is supposed to be. So for me, being the cool girlfriend is when I do shit. Oh, there's also a certain level of her not really caring. Like her feelings don't necessarily get hurt. Like she's just so
Yes.
chill about everything. So
I
for
think the
me,
chill part is like such a big, yeah.
just so chill, like nothing.
Sorry, just such a big part of the
Yes,
whole concept.
the whole thing. So like for me, when the cool girlfriend kicks in is when like like if Ben asks me like to do something and I just try to portray that I don't give a shit. I'm going to use a real example instead of making up hypotheticals because I think it'll make much more sense.
Yeah.
Um
I love your real example too, because it is
yeah, yeah.
hilarious. I think post it happening, it's funny,
Post it.
but you know, in the
Yeah.
moment, it's never funny.
Friggin' no. So Ben was on a bachelor party and I just like didn't really think too much about it. And I was like, okay, go forth and plunder. And then he called me one night to be like, we are going to a strip club. Ben doesn't really like strip clubs. Fucking we love Ben.
We
Um,
love I've been saying this for years,
I
Sarah, I don't
know.
know.
I know. We love Ben. Ben
We
doesn't
love
really
Ben.
like strip clubs, but he was like, is this okay with you? I just want to let you know, like, just in case if this isn't okay with you.
Also, like,
I
claps for Ben, good boyfriend energy.
literally, so I overcompensated hard for my discomfort of not liking it. So I overcompensated hard and I just go, oh yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. Oh my God, just have you just go have the best time. Like I said, and I quote, and I am so embarrassed. I said this. I was like, yeah, go get boobs thrown in your face. And I was just like, I just overcompensated so hard because I wanted to be so cool to be so cool with him doing that and just be like, oh yeah, I'm like one of the guys, strip clubs, cool, yeah. And then the next day, so then after I called out, like we hung up the phone, I was just like, I fucking hate this. But the next day we talked on the phone and he starts like telling me stories about it because he thinks so like now jumping into Ben's perspective, he's like, oh fuck, like Sarah's like obsessed with strip clubs. Like this is like her favorite thing ever. So the next day we hop on the phone and he's like telling me stories about it and I freak out and I'm like so pissed and he's like what the fuck? Like, you actually told me to get boobs thrown in my face, and I'm telling you a story, and you're like freaking out. It's like, I'm not okay with this at all, whatever. So, like, that is where the cool girlfriend, in my opinion, so that's my story of cool girlfriend. That
The
is where,
limitations of the cool girlfriend.
what was that?
I say, like, that's like the limitations of the cool girlfriend. That's
It, in my opinion, it doesn't actually ever work out well. It's like a short-term fix
yeah,
that is delaying slash suppressing what's gonna come later. Because I don't know
yeah,
about you, Alejandra, but I've shoved down the way I feel about things, like slash like people please to get through something and then process later. But my feelings
yeah,
always eventually come out. And when I go into cool girlfriend mode, it just like exacerbates the feelings that come out because they've been
for sure.
suppressed. Tell me your
Well, I think,
thoughts.
like, the main thing about yeah, I mean, like, I think the main thing about it is, like, it's this idea of, like, you were you're trying to fulfill a stereotype that you've been told that you need to conform to, right? Like there's all the things that you mentioned, like your whole list of like, and you have to like sports and you have to be able to hang with the boys, but also like you cook breakfast naked in an apron,
Yeah.
like all this like completely bonkers. And actually, if you think about a lot of the stuff, not that they can't live, you know, not that they're mutually exclusive, but it's like a lot of the stuff is kind of like it cancels itself out, right? Like she has to be super feminine and girly, but like also like be able to like play football and like get in the dirt, you know, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of okay. But anyways, I think it's just like trying to fulfill this expectation of the type of girl that you're supposed to be, um and then not being that girl because no one is that girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
she's a fallacy, she doesn't exist. So trying to conform to that and then failing because that's not who you are, ignoring your own feelings, and then ultimately like there's like this fall and crash of like you being like, actually no, I'm not cool with it. And I think the older you get, the quicker you are to get to that point. Like I think when I was in high school, I put up with so much shit for so long,
Mm.
before like the cool girlfriend facade would break. But as an adult, I think I'm like much quicker at being like either no from the beginning or like it's like the next day or like within a week or something that you like, actually I'm not cool with it at all, you know, like it's different.
Yeah, and I guess like perhaps the goal is to just get the windows closer and closer to the point where
Yeah.
like it's immediate that like you listen to yourself.
I had like a backwards cool girlfriend experience.
Tell
So
me.
like with my ex-boyfriend, and I was like constantly trying to be like the cool girlfriend. Well, because I think again, another thing that the cool girlfriend that I think is like a lot of it comes down to like trying to please like the
Yeah.
man, I guess,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then trying to like appease him and his needs above yours. But I did it a lot in that relationship. And what side note, I think at the time I was working at the sneaker company we were both working at, and I lived in a very like I worked in a very male dominated like section.
Yeah.
I didn't really work with a lot of women and it was very like male centric. And so I kind of like cool girlfriend in my like workplace, you know, for like, you know,
Yeah.
sexism, work opportunity. You have to be like, they make a sexist joke, you have to add to it because you can't be like not cool with it, right?
Yeah, exactly,
So I like
exactly.
cool girlfriend, right? So I like cool girl coworkers all the time at work,
Mhm.
like to fit in. And and so I've gotten very good at that. I've gotten very good at that, like can hang with the boys part of it.
Mm. Mhm.
And so my boyfriend at the time like had a bunch of his friends come because a lot of them lived in New York, and so they came to visit. And this was like my first time meeting a lot of them. And so like the pressure to be the cool girlfriend was on, right?
Yeah.
It's like an acting gig. Okay, this
It
is a big
is.
deal.
It is.
And and so they're all being boys, rough housing, making mean, because men, that's how men like show affection to each other, is by being like really mean to each other. I don't know if you've noticed that, but how they that's how they
There's
interact.
yes.
Um
Yes.
so
It's
messed up.
so
That's like a whole
weird.
other podcast, but like
Honestly. Yes, I aligned.
but yeah, I had gotten very good at that too with my boss. We like shat on each other all day basically. And so I was like, this is my chance. So my boyfriend at the time grabbed one of his friend's phones and like took a picture of his like penis through his pants. Like not like you didn't see anything. It was just like his crotch area with pants on, right?
Mhm.
And then they're making jokes about that, right? And so I'm like, this is my chance. This is my moment to shine. And so then I make a small penis joke because what else do you do in that scenario, right? So I make a small penis joke where I was like, oh, well, it doesn't even matter if he takes a photo because there's not much there to take a picture of, or something along those
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
Fucked myself over for the evening. Boyfriend was pissed,
Aw.
was like, you humiliated me in front of my friends. I can't believe
Aw.
you would say that. And it's kind of funny because I in retrospect, like I don't regret it because like that relationship was bad and complicated and there was many layers to that. But like it was just funny in that scenario where it's like the cool girlfriend vibe like backfired, where it was like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't need to be the can hang with the boys girlfriend tonight. I needed to be the can wear heels and cook like a 8-course meal for the guys on Super Bowl Sunday girl.
Yeah.
And so it's like miscalculated. And yeah, he was like mad, didn't speak to me all night, like was a huge fight, like a couple days later, like all that stuff. But like it's just funny because that's not even the person I wanted to be. And then it ended up backfiring.
Wow. Wow. And you're just like, hold on. I thought I was just trying to be really cool. Like I would never fucking say something like that. Like,
I mean, I
you know?
would, but like
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is so hard. It is it is kind of in search slash in pursuit of being this unicorn. Something about the cool girlfriend that I kind of get the vibe of is like wanting to say something like, I'm not like other girls. Like I'm this
literally.
like how annoying, and like we can talk about like toxicity of like girls hating on girls.
Yes,
But like
for sure.
but the I yeah, but it like it's this idea of like, oh, I'm not like other girls. Like I like give a fuck about like football, or like I like turns out it's the Super Bowl this
Or
weekend.
like
Who
weird,
knew?
there's always like weird things like craft beer or like video games is a huge one.
Yeah.
Um and I think growing up I used to like align a lot of my like interests. And not that because I do like video games and like stuff like that, but I think I used to try to align some of my interests with these things so that it was like appealing. You
100%.
know what I mean?
I gave so many shits about the Celtics growing up. Like in high school, I gave so many shits. And I don't give a fuck about sports. Like I like playing sports. I will not have my day ruined about sports. I don't follow any sports now. I like
Yeah.
playing them, but not watching them. But I remember in high school, I followed the Celtics. Like I was like, this is my thing. Like I wore Celtics t-shirts
I
to
bet you got
school.
like real worked up when you went to the bar and like watched the game,
I mean,
right?
I was in high school, so I did not go to a bar, but
Oh,
like,
because it's high school. Sorry, I was
no, no,
thinking
no,
college. But
no.
like you'd get
Oh,
like worked up. You'd be like, "Oh, they missed it. Like I can't
yeah,
believe they
like
missed
what are
that
you
shot."
doing? Like, yeah, like I would have like some guy friends over my house in high school, and we would watch the Celtics. Like I'd have like Celtics watch parties at my house. Like that is like I I spent a lot of time creating this like social like
That's a
whatever
lot.
of being um into sports. But I do think that there's something to be said about trying on different ways of being. So like trying
True.
on like I was trying on being like the sporty whatever person. I don't think that it was entirely driven out of just wanting to appear to be like a cool girlfriend, but
True,
I
true.
think was trying on like the cool tomboy thing, and that's not who I am. But like I definitely think the reason why I got the idea to try that on was like, oh, I'll be so interesting if I do this.
Oh, I mean, I feel like yeah, that's so funny. Well, I mean, this is kind of a side note, but I will
Yeah,
say, yeah, no shame, no foul there. I think as someone that like feels the need to reinvent themselves like once a month, I understand that fully.
totally. Totally.
Um, what was I gonna say in terms? Well, I think the thing that I think we started talking about too was the idea of like it not fixing a problem, um, pretending to
Mm,
be like cool with stuff. I think, but I think it's so hard because I feel like there's so much shame that's like put on women for like not being the cool girlfriend. Like whenever a
mm,
girlfriend's like high maintenance or like
mm, mm.
has a lot of rules or like whatever. And I've like definitely made fun of those girls or been like, I could never date someone like that. I can't even
Mhm.
imagine being that way. I'm actually like, I'm so cool. Like I would literally let my boyfriend do anything.
Serious. Seriously. How weird is
but
that? Like,
it's
I would let my boyfriend treat me like such shit. I'm so cool. Like, like
I'm literally like, if he even thought about me once before himself, I'd be like, ill, new boyfriend.
if he's
Can't
not
have you.
cheating on me, I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
side
yeah,
note.
exactly. No, for real.
Like,
Like, but I think that, but then you think about it and you're like, okay, but like those girls deserve to be girlfriends too. And it's like, to some degree, you have to be like, I honestly admire that you're that open with being
yes.
like that needy or that like have that many rules or, and it's funny because there's things that would be fine for some people that are not fine for other people. And I think the number one thing is always just like, what's the health of your relationship like? what's the
Mm,
trust in your relationship like? Because I think like cool girlfriend behavior is like, and cool boyfriend behavior, I'll add,
mhm.
is like earned. Like you have to like have a really good foundation. Otherwise, like it's just a facade, right? Like otherwise it's
Mm.
just fake. Like you're just doing it to prop something else up instead of like actually wanting to be okay with those things.
Yeah. I loved what you said about like the women who have so many rules. It's like they're being very upfront with their needs and
Yeah.
the boyfriend doesn't need to stay if he doesn't like the needs.
No.
At least he knows upfront what it is. Like instead of like doing the cool girlfriend thing and then they find out your needs as time goes on of like, like we all have things that we need.
Over salt.
Yeah, like, I actually really thinking about it, like, I really appreciate the girls that are like, "I need this and I need that," and yeah, like, that's just how it's gonna go.
No, exactly. Yeah, I agree. What else was I feel like there's another point I was oh yeah, I mean I think the other point too that I think at least for me where I've gotten into trouble with the cool girlfriend situation is I think like I tried using the cool girlfriend as like a band-aid for a relationship where I think
Mm,
like I've been in relationships before where I there was definitely not a lot of like reciprocity in terms of like engagement and involvement
mm.
and like not commitment, but like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like when you're
yeah,
like
yeah.
engaged with your partner versus like
Yes,
someone's kind of doing their own thing, but like you're still dating. It's kind of weird. Um,
yes.
but like I feel like I used the cool girlfriend thing as like hoping that it was like maybe if I'm just like the absolute fucking coolest, he'll just fall in love with me like fully.
Oh,
Like, and then this is like
oh,
in a relationship, not like in a weird, like in between thing, like fully, like we are boyfriend and girlfriend, like our friends
yeah,
know, whatever, it's on social media, like still being like, oh crap, he's not being a very good boyfriend. But maybe if I'm just such an amazing girlfriend, he'll be like, wow,
he'll
I need to literally never be with anyone else. And then I'm gonna be like the best Prince Charming. But that like
wow,
that literally never happens. That will never happen. It's
yeah.
not how that works.
That's like a Disney movie, like being the exception that like changes the bad boy into like then he's like, "Oh, I need to only be with you," like type of story.
Yeah. Well, not yeah, and then not even in like the terms of cheating, 'cause it's not like, it's not like I was being cheated on or anything, but
Mhm.
just like the level of like, um, what's the word I'm even like can't think of the word I'm looking for.
The level of
Just
like care,
engagement, like
engagement, that's a
yes, like care and engagement and like being involved in your
interest.
partner's life and like thinking of them first, not all the time, but just like having them top of mind, stuff like that. And it's like I think I just thought if I was so cool that like one day like this like switch would flip
Yeah.
and like then he would become like the boyfriend of my dreams and that never happened and it's just a bad recipe for disaster.
Hmm. I'm I think engagement is a good word. I'm reading one of Brene Brown's books right now, and she talks about
Favorite.
disengagement and how she says disengagement can be just as bad. It's like the
Worse.
ultimate betrayal. Like
Yes, well it's
worse than cheating is just completely
yes.
disengaging.
Yeah, no, I agree and I fully agree with that because she was saying in the book, right, because I think I read the book because I think you posted it on your Instagram
Mhm,
and I
show
liked
did.
it. I read the same book, and yeah, I think the part where she talks about how it's worse because it's like if someone cheats on you, or if there's like a huge fight or something, you have like there's an event that occurred that you can point to that you can be
Mm.
like, look at that thing that you did. That thing was shitty. That's why this is not working. But like disengagement just happens slowly over time, and it's like
Oh,
really small shit. Like it's like not thinking about your partner, making a decision, or like doing something that upsets them, and then like not owning up to it, or not turning towards their bids and stuff like that. And that's a lot harder to like manifest. It's a lot harder
yeah.
to be like, it was this thing, because it's a
Yeah.
bunch of things compounded over time.
Yeah, and it's like it's so much like not asking your partner how their day is going, Like, "How was
Yeah.
your day today?" Like, removing that and just slow disinterest, disengagement, Brene Brown talks about how that impacts kids
Yeah.
too. And how she said it's so important to ask them what their favorite music is and what they're drawing, and just be very interested, because kids need that attention, and frankly adults are just kids that have like gotten older. um
Yeah.
if the kids don't get the attention that they need, then they start acting out because they
Yeah.
think maybe this will get your attention.
Yeah.
um but definitely in a partnership, like, it's those dull, subtle hurts. It kind of reminds me of microaggressions, in that they
Yeah.
aren't um they aren't very flagrant acts of
Yeah.
like acts of violence, acts of like hate speech or anything like that, but
Yeah.
microaggressions, they just like tick like
They're
get at you.
and they're a lot easier for the aggressor to like dismiss or be like,
Mm,
"Oh, well, that's not what I meant." Like that was you. You misinterpreted. Because they're so subtle.
yeah, very subtle pains that
Hmm.
just add up. So yeah, I really cool. Good. I think you using disengagement is a really good term. Um, Alejandra,
Yeah.
what do we think that we can do about combating the cool girlfriending and being a cool girlfriend?
Shit. Well, I think that the first thing would be obviously to like recognize that you're doing it.
Mhm,
Especially if
mhm.
you're young, if you're like a young listener in college or high school, like try not to do things for other people. I know it's really hard. I feel like you have to do it a little bit to then like get burnt and then learn from it. But like
Yeah,
if you can try to recognize it, the sooner the better. Um,
yeah.
and then I would say like I think the most important thing is like trying to pick a partner that's really attentive to your
Mm,
needs and like very invested and engaged in your relationship, because I think like now being in like a really awesome like solid foundation relationship with a partner, because it's funny because I feel like everyone says that where they're like, don't settle for someone who like doesn't treat you like an endangered species, and like if he wanted to make time he would, like all those like little like Instagram like things that show up. And it's like dumb because it seems dumb, but it's like actually true. And like when you're actually with someone like that, it's so different. You don't
mhm.
really have to be the cool girlfriend it happens a lot. I mean, I'm sure with Ben you feel the same. Like the being the cool girlfriend thing happens a lot less often than maybe it has in the past.
Less often, but I still do it, but we talk about it.
Yeah.
Because something for me is I am a big people pleaser, and I have like a
Mm,
history of being a people pleaser. So when I'm in a conversation with someone a lot, I kind of just go into like survival mode almost, to just appease whatever, get through it, get done with it, and I'm not as in tune with my needs and the way that I feel sometimes.
mm,
Um, so for me, and a lot of times I need time to think about it. Coming from a place of people
true.
pleasing where I've just been like, whatever, whatever, do whatever, it's hard for me almost to really understand how I feel about it, and really think about like, okay, what do I think about it? Not like what I should think about it, not like what would be the
True.
easiest thing to think about. So for me, it's um noticing when I'm going into appeasement mode.
Mm,
That's the first one. And then as I notice I'm in appeasement mode, and if I feel like I don't know how I feel about it, asking for time to process. That
I
has
was gonna
been
say that.
that has been huge. I am such a I need time to process right now, and I imagine as I get more mindful of myself, and work on this more, I won't need as
Mhm.
much time to process. But right now, I'm at the state where if I catch myself appeasing, I say, "Ben, I need time to think about this," or "I need time to process." And he's the fucking best. And like, yeah, what he's just the fucking
We
best.
love
And
Ben.
I know we love Ben, and he's always like so supportive of it. But I it's a partnership thing that we're working on too, because he hates
Mm.
the cool girlfriend thing too. He fucking hates it. And it
Well, of
sounds
course he
like
does.
it seems like something that I'm doing this so he thinks I'm amazing. But as we've chatted about, it always comes out and then he's so fucking confused because
Well, yeah.
I was cool with one thing and now I'm not cool with it. So he's like, what the fuck? So we've been kind of going at it as a team. My main piece of advice, and that I'm also in process with, I'm not like great at it, is just really noticing when you start to go into this, when like a flip switches where all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm in cool girlfriend mode, and just noticing that. And if you can fix it right away, slash sink into yourself and start operating from you, that's awesome. But if you need
Yeah.
time to process, ask for time to process.
Yeah. And then I think, yeah, even back to just like, because I definitely don't want my advice to just be like, just get a better boyfriend. That's kind of what it sounded like. But I will say, like, if you are with a person who is empathetic and understanding and caring and thoughtful, it will be a lot easier to talk about that kind of stuff. Even if them being empathetic, thoughtful, caring, wonderful doesn't completely erase the cool girlfriending. um, it's going to be a lot easier to have those conversations with that person. It's going to be a lot easier for them to be understanding, um, and for them to like just generally like care about the health of your relationship.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's like super key. I mean, for me, I think that definitely what changed or what really shifted was just like being with somebody, because my cool girlfriending, I guess, like
Mhm.
my little like therapist moment thing is um just like I used to just like seek out people that were like like not shitty, but just like not emotionally like um
Available.
giving. Yeah, not emotionally available. That's exactly what it is. um and that's like the worst scenario for me.
Mm.
um and so like I think I would try to overcompensate for that with cool girlfriending. Like I said, just like maybe if I'm so cool, things will be different.
Yeah.
And then just like finally like picking the right partner and being like, okay, no, I need someone that's like super emotionally available and there for me. I don't have to overcompensate that, you know with being cool or trying to be cool or trying to be like whatever person. And that's been a huge difference. So like definitely I think like acknowledging why you're doing it, who
Yeah.
you're doing it for, and then like you said, if you notice it in the moment or after, just like assessing why. And I think there's like different cool girlfriend triggers for different people too. Like,
100%. Like there's no set thing. Like if you're a woman who loves sports, that's not like, oh, you're cool girlfriending. It's like
no,
that's
yeah.
not cool girlfriending. It's like it's the
Cool
act of
girlfriending would
go ahead.
changing yourself. Yeah, sorry, it would be like if you're a girl that like loves sports and is like friggin' so into it and like all that shit, but like you hate cooking and then you like pretend like you're gonna cook a whole home cooked meal for your boyfriend and pretend like you like that and be happy about it when it's like the last thing you ever want to do in the world.
Exactly. It's the act of pretending to be something that you're not and shoving down who you really are.
Yeah,
Um it for the benefit of your relationship or for trying to like be more desirable. Um
yeah.
yeah, I so a couple things I wanted to like chat about like with for like younger folks slash like I would consider us younger folks too. Um
I've
but
been
like
saying that for a while.
yeah,
Like
honestly.
almost 30 and I'm like, "Ugh, I'm a baby."
Yeah, like us kids. Um it's like it's totally cool to try on different kinds of being. So if you want to try to be like the sporty girl, that's great. If you want to try to be the cooking girl, that's great. If
Or the girly
you
girl.
yeah,
Or a
it
combination of any of them, because I think we've
do
been
it.
talking in extremes. I don't want to, like, I definitely don't want
True.
anyone to think that it's like you can't be the sporty girl and the cooking girl. There's only one sporty spice. Um, that's like not what I want. It's just more like just talking in extremes for ease of conversation, but just definitely like don't don't try to put yourself in the situation of someone you're not doing something you don't want to do. That's so hard for
Yes.
women. That is so hard for women to grow up
Correct.
constantly being told that you have to like put all of your needs last,
Mhm.
please everybody. Everybody has to be pleased. You have to be nice. You have to be appeasing. And then
Mm.
like as you get older, learning that that is awful and you should not do that and you should put yourself first. Um, and it's very hard. It's really hard to have it to break.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely try out who you are. And I think the big thing is learning through experience of just like, oh shit, I hated that. So and then as you get older, you'll be able to really understand. You'll know yourself more, you'll understand like your triggers more, and you'll understand your habits a bit more,
Yeah.
to know when you're going into this cool girlfriending thing. But I think a huge part of like combating this is awareness of it, that it's a thing that
Yeah.
we do, and also talking about it. Like I honestly, Alejandra, like talking to you about that, I think you were the first person I talked to about the strip club thing. I felt like so much like shame about it, like because I was just like fuck, but like talking about it, it's now hilarious, like, and it's just like talking about it with friends about stupid shit that you did because you were trying to be cool and it didn't work out, like
Yeah.
is so helpful in the healing of it, and in a great way for you to be able to like look at it, like separate yourself from it and be like, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah. I feel like, well, that's the best thing about the cool girlfriend stories is that they're always hilarious. Like, 'cause they always it's like something out of a sitcom. Like, I can think of so many things I've done in the past, like to try to be cool and like have them miserably fail, um, or just be like really embarrassing.
Yeah, it's always, yeah, it's always the worst. So yeah, any other thoughts here?
I think those are like the main thoughts. I just think it's I love that we like came up with this. I feel like the cool girlfriend thing, we just kind of I'm sure there's some other fancy name for it, but I feel like it was fun to come to that conclusion together to be like, oh wait, no, like this is a thing. Like this is something that
Is a thing.
happens, that's consistent, that women do, that we've noticed. Um, it doesn't have a name. At least I don't think it has a name.
And sure
So
does now. It's being the cool girlfriend. And it was so cool talking to you and being like, we had like, we have like identical viewpoints of what the quote unquote ideal girlfriend is. Like it's the woman
yeah,
who's like the all of the everything. And it was just like,
all of the things.
universal. This is, yeah. So yeah, I completely
Oh,
agree. Go.
I have one last comment, and it is like the
Yes.
most wise, wonderful thing my grandmother has ever told me,
Oh,
and I
love
love
it.
it,
Love
and I
it.
think about it all the time. And she said one time we were talking about like feminism,
Mhm.
etc. And she said feminism wasn't a successful movement because they they made women equal to men, but they forgot to make men equal to women. So like women could, okay, yeah, you want a job, great, like you can work now, you can be a CEO, you can be a boss, you still have to be a mom though. And nobody like
Oh,
told men like, okay, cool, now you have to like come clean dishes and organize the family shit and take care of
interesting.
your damn kids. And I think about that a lot because obviously like she grew up in it, not that she thinks feminism is a failure, but just like that idea. And I think about it a lot because I'm like, that's so true. It's like we went from like, hey women, your expectation is to just sit at home, take care of the kids, have more babies, cook dinner, etc., right?
Yeah.
Which was bad. We wanted options. But
Yeah.
now it's like, hey, you get to do all that plus
I
all
know.
this other shit. And now
Yeah.
you have the expectations of a man and a woman. And I think, yeah, that plays into
Yeah.
that trope. The whole idea of like you have to be a boy and a girl, all the best traits of a hot girl and a cool boy and a like one person.
Yes. And also like, being the CEO, but also like a mom, and also like the shame that goes into getting a nanny. Like there's a bunch of
Oh
shit
God.
there too. Yeah.
Or getting a
Yeah.
housekeeper, like a cleaner.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. Like I think that we've made such great progress. And
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
anecdotally, like Ben does 99.9% of the laundry in our house. And so
Yeah.
he is such a great team player. And I hear more and more stories of My boss actually, when she had kids, her husband stayed home with the kids while she
Which is
worked.
great. Yeah.
So cool. I've heard of that, but there are still differences. Like when I see a dad running with like a stroller,
The stroller.
I'm like, oh my God, that is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And then if a woman's doing it, I'm like, seems normal, you know? It's
Well,
just
I was just gonna say that's the hard part. It's like you said, anecdotally or in instances, you're like, look at that man being a stay-at-home dad, or look at that Tide commercial where the dad talks about how much he loves Tide for his kids. But then you're like, wait, but that's like dumb that we're celebrating that. And I see it a lot in like dating culture where and it's been made fun of a lot on the internet, but it's like how guys on their Bumble will be like, ladies, I don't just have a job. Okay. I can cook, do laundry, and clean. And you're like, wow, Brad, congratulations. You
Brad.
know how to survive as a human.
Yeah,
You have learned the basic survival skills. But that's like a huge bonus, right? Like a girl would never talk about that on her dating profile because that is like expected, right? That's what you come with. That's what the Barbie doll
wow.
comes with. The Ken doll doesn't come with the cooking, cleaning, and all that shit, right? But the Barbie
Wow.
does. You just expect that to come with the package.
That is such a great way of looking at things, like in the reversal. Like, would any girl be like, I know how to make boxed
Oh,
pasta? Like, no one would ever say that. Oh,
yeah.
that's so interesting.
I know how to clean a bathroom. Don't
Like,
even.
let me tell you.
You'd be like, yeah, of course you do. I've seen your dorm room. It's spotless.
Yeah. That is so interesting. Oh, I love that advice. I love that knowledge from Graham. That's great.
I think about that all the time. How we
Wow.
did not make men equal to women. All we did was
Mm,
try to
mm,
make women equal to men. But we
mm.
didn't really like cross that threshold of like expectations, I guess, for both genders.
Interesting.
We're getting there.
I
It's
know.
happening slowly.
Yeah, we're getting there. I think that's a great way to end. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm feeling it.